Hi everyone, I'm here to give an update on what I've finished, frogged, and what progress I've made in the last month or so since I gave my update. On my first video, I had 9 works in progress. That's definitely changed and shifted. There's been some projects I haven't touched, some that I finished, some new ones that I've started, because I am not a person who can keep to one project the whole time. We're now on day 43 of the shutdown, so I've had a lot of time to work on crochet and knitting projects, but hopefully the end is in sight and I'll be back to work soon. So let me give you an update on what's been going on. So I started this doily and finished this doily. I just need to weave in the ends and that's it. So it's kind of like a Christmas pattern doily. Not really specifically Christmas, but I think the red color makes it look Christmassy. This one was a labor of love. I had to frog and redo rounds multiple times, but I think it turned out well in the end. So that's one project done. I also finished the little Topknot baby hat that I was making to match the baby sweater I made, and I have already given that away and I didn't take pictures. The only pictures I have are of the baby wearing the hat and the sweater set, and so I'm not going to be sharing that because I'm not sharing my friends' children online. What else have I finished? I also, there's a consistent theme here of me not weaving in ends. I also finished this cowl. It's kind of hard to see. I'll put it on so we can fully see it. I've sewn it together, but I haven't cut or woven the ends yet because I'm just not totally sure if I like the sweater. I mean the cowl. It actually looks better with this sweater under it, but it's just, I've never really worn cowls, but I thought I would make one. I'm just not really sure it's my thing. This is a little bit floppy to me. Maybe I'm styling it wrong. I don't know. So here, let me tuck this in so we get the full vibe. So this is what it would look like. You'd wear it with a jacket, maybe with a jacket on. It'd be just like really warm because it's up in there. But anyway, I finished this. I blocked it and everything before I sewed it together, so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to keep it, if I'm going to give it away, if I'm going to frog it. So this one's an undecided but technically complete project. So that's 2 projects that are finished. I keep track of them, so let me just put this in my finished project pile here. I also finished this scarf that I had been making with this ombré yarn. This one will look like this. So just a standard scarf. Nothing crazy. It was my first knitting project, although I've finished other knitting projects before I finished this one. This was the first one I ever started. So it's just ribbed 3 stitches by 3 stitches, and then 3 stitches in purl, 3 stitches in knit. Just a rib scarf. So I will be giving this one away. This one is not for me. So that is another finished project. So we're at 3 finished projects. I also made a cowl out of the same yarn. I do need to weave the ends in on this, so it's not as done as some other projects, but this one is also giving away. I'm not keeping it. But this cowl is a little different. I like the shape of this one better, personally, even though I'm giving it away, so it doesn't really matter, but it will keep you nice and warm. And if it's really cold out, you could do one of these numbers and have your hat on top too. But it's also out of the same ombré yarn. I'll show the pattern a little more closely. It's not cables, but it is a new technique that I hadn't tried with knitting yet, where you do increases and decreases to get this kind of cabling leaf effect. I don't know what to call it specifically, but I liked it, so I enjoyed this pattern. It's a much easier repeat than some cable patterns, because I did learn how to do cables. I just decided I didn't want to do a full cable project yet. I'm not ready to commit to that. So that's a 4th project done. And here's number 5. So this one was mostly done, and I did weave in the ends on this one. This one's like a scarf with a hood attached, and I added a pom-pom. Hopefully my clip doesn't make it hard to see. So it's like this, and it's, oops, meant to wrap multiple times. You could even tie a little knot here to make it extra warm, like that. So can you see that? It's got the, so my clip's right there. That's what's making it kind of funky. It's got the little pom-pom, and there we go. So I thought this one turned out well. I didn't use a pattern or anything. I just did a stockinette stitch little, and then rectangle, sewed it together, and then did a scarf and stockinette and sewed it along the bottom. So nothing crazy. I kind of like this curled effect. I think it's cute. So that's that one. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out considering I didn't have a pattern. If I did do it again, I would do things a little differently because the stockinette stitch on the scarf just curls like crazy. I would have preferred it to be as wide as it is, not curled up, but it's okay. For a first time with no pattern, I think it turned out pretty well. But I think I would try a different pattern in the future, or different scarf pattern in the future. I liked how the hat turned out. Although some shaping might be nice so you don't get the pointy head, but with a pom-pom, I think it's okay. So that is now 5 projects complete. I mostly finished this doily I was working on last time. So it has the classic kind of doily pineapples. There's 8 points, but as you can see, this point isn't finished yet because you did the main thing up until this round, and then you did each point individually, and then you go back with one final round to tie it all together at the very end. I ran out of white yarn, and I'm currently on a yarn no buy, so this, I know that's a little bit legalistic to be like, I'm not buying any yarn, I'm not going to buy the yarn to finish, or the crochet thread to finish this, but I'm not going to do it. So I have a 7 out of points done on this doily, and then once I'm buying thread again, I will finish this up. I took down notes of what needle size I was using, what pattern, and what thread, but yeah, so I'll get this finished eventually. I'm glad I made it as far as I did. So that's an in-progress project. I recently casted on this hat. It's gonna be a beanie. Can't really try it on yet. Hopefully it'll fit my head. I think it'll stretch enough to fit my head, but it's my first ever adult size knitted hat. It's just pretty basic. So there's ribbing down here. It's gonna be a folded brim, and then it's stockinette stitch up here. And then I'll do some decreases and shaping at the top to make it head shaped. So I've been working on that, and this is from yarn from a different project that I just decided I didn't like anymore, and I frogged. So that's another work in progress. So we're at 2 works in progress. This blanket here, it's gotten pretty massive. This is still folded in 4ths. This is like 1/4 of the size. I need to do 1 more row. So I started with green. I accidentally chained too many stitches, so I need to remove this portion of the chain and then weave in that end. And then I've been weaving in my ends as I've gone along, so I have 1 here, but the rest are woven in, maybe need to be trimmed. But I need to do 1 more row of green so that I started on green and finish on green. And then I'm gonna do some fringe because this blanket looks great with fringe. Yeah, I need to do that. Fringe takes forever though, so I'm really not looking forward to that. My parents are visiting this weekend, so I'm planning to enlist their help on cutting and tying the fringe onto the blanket. So I need to finish that up so that I can actually get their help this weekend. So 3 works in progress. I have not touched the blanket, the Texas blanket. I found the pattern again that I was using, so I definitely can. And I just found a mouse, and like a little mouse toy in this bag that I forgot was in here. I'll take that out so I can give it back to my cat. So I still, so the next stripe is I'm in progress on the orange stripe. I still have the orange yarn, and I have 2 more skeins, 1 of white and 1 of orange in the closet, so I can continue whenever I get to it. Now that it's getting colder out, I probably will hopefully start working on this project again, because I really do want to get it finished. What am I going to do with it when I get it finished? I don't know. Use it to keep myself warm on the couch. But I'd really love to get this Texas, which I guess that doesn't look like it says Texas, blanket done. But for now, it goes back in the closet. I have been procrastinating doing any other crochet projects right now because I need to finish this blanket for a wedding. So I haven't really touched that recently. What else? I made another baby sweater. So I had shown the yellow one that was already done before I started this, but I made a white and green one. So I had that green baby bonnet that I just wasn't really sold on. So I frogged it and turned it into this baby sweater. And then I didn't have enough green, so I just grabbed some white yarn I had in the closet and like striped it in. So I think it turned out pretty well. Originally, just the button selection isn't great at stores, so I decided I wasn't gonna do buttons. And so I bought these magnetic straps. So I bought these magnetic snaps. Sorry about that. I noticed the end came a little bit unraveled at the bottom that I'll have to fix. I bought these magnetic snaps, and then they're really strong magnets, and so I'm worried that over time it'll really degrade the knitting like, because the knitting is delicate. So I think I'm just going to leave it as a little open front baby cardigan. So my friend's baby is due in April, and so I think when I give it to her, when I see her next month, if she's due in April, then this could be worn, because this is like a 9-month baby sweater. She can wear it next winter. So yeah, and I thought, well, I did say it was done, but I accidentally unraveled this edge. So I gotta figure out how to fix that. I'm not really that skilled at fixing. I think it's just a matter of taking a crochet hook through and fixing those loops. So hopefully it's not too bad. If I need help, I will ask some more experienced knitters that I know for help on that. So I'm gonna count this as finished. So it will add to the finished pile. I haven't touched this baby blanket that I was working on with the waffle stitch. Like I said, I don't remember what I was doing for the inside of this waffle stitch border that I was doing. So once I figure that out, I'll keep working on it. I was gonna do some type of fillet crochet or fillet crochet, however you wanna say it. I just don't remember what. So I'll work on that. Put it back in here for now. Hopefully I will get to that soon. But like I said, I really need to get this Larksfoot stitch blanket done. I think that might be, oh, one more work in progress. So I've been working on this, I haven't done a ton. I've gone from this stitch marker to up here, so maybe an inch or two, a few inches have been added to this Tunisian ocean stitch blanket. It's gonna be a baby blanket. I was really enjoying this project at first, and then as I've been going on, I'm just kind of like not feeling it. This is gonna be a lot, it's gonna be a lot of work to do a whole blanket with this stitch, and I'm just not really sold on it right now. So I'm gonna pack it up into a bag and put it in a closet, and maybe I'll get re-inspired in a month or so. And if I'm not, and I decide that I have another project that I'd really like to use this same yarn on, then I will frog it. And that's okay sometimes, to just frog projects that you're just not really into. It just happens sometimes. I know it's like, this is like hours of work that I've done, because Tunisian crochet takes a while, especially this stitch. And so that's kind of heartbreaking. You're like, oh, I wasted all that time. But you know, is it really wasteful? It kept my hands busy, it kept my mind busy. So it's not really wasted, but it does kind of stink. But I don't want to fall into the sunk cost fallacy. So packing this up in a bag, and it's gonna go in the closet for a little while. And so that's on the back, that's like in the deep freeze kind of thing. I have 2 crochet projects on the back burner. I have this knitting project that I'm working on, this crochet project, the Larksfoot stitch blanket that's almost done. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 works in progress that I still want to actively work on. One that's like on the deep freeze, not sure I want to frog it or keep it. So that's that, and then I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects recently. So I feel like I've accomplished a lot in the last month. Yeah, so thanks for being on the journey with me.